Alright, here we go. Whoa, here we don't go. What just happened? My clutch is not working.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me for the 6th video in my Automobilista 2 series. And if you found your way here not knowing what this is, my goal is to take you, the average sim racer who is ignoring the Brazilian content in AMS 2, and show you a little bit about what you're missing out on. Let's get into it. Today we make our way to the Circuito dos Cristais, known as Curvelo in AMS2 due to its location near the city of that name. Curvelo is one of the newest racing circuits in Brazil, with construction starting in 2013 and having been finalized in 2016. The circuit is part of a larger complex of around 4 square kilometers that was conceived as a race resort that also features gated residential condominiums, shopping and recreation areas, as well as off-road driving facilities. Financing for the project included proceeds from the sale of memberships to the clubhouse that sits adjacent to the track and allows members to watch the racing action from luxurious surroundings. The circuit is known for both car and motorcycle racing and has hosted Stock Car Brazil in the past. The full circuit of Curvelo comes in at 2.74 miles or 4.41 kilometers and features 18 turns. The track is tight and technical, featuring many slow corners and changes in elevation. Our showcase car today is the Puma P052. Puma is a Brazilian manufacturer of sports cars and small trucks that first began operations in 1963 under the name Lumimari, with the name Puma being adopted the following year. Puma has produced several iconic vehicles in Brazil, including the Puma GTE and Puma GTB, both of which are included in Automobilista 2 and have been featured by me in earlier videos in this series. Due to multiple circumstances, Puma experienced financial difficulties that led to the last of its cars being produced by the company in the mid to late 1990s. The P052 represents a resurgence for the company that was first announced as a prototype in 2013 and debuted in 2016. Its design harkens back to the classic GT models produced by Puma in its earlier years. The Puma P052 is a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive car that is powered by a turbocharged 2-liter inline-4 engine producing 164 horsepower and is connected to a 5-speed H-pattern gearbox. The car weighs in at 2,073 pounds or 940 kilograms and does not feature traction control or ABS. The P052 competes in the GT5 class within AMS2 alongside the British Jetta G40.
Alright, here we go for a quick race in the Puma P052 here at Curvelo. Starting off P17 here, got a 32 car grid. It's the Pumas up against the Jetta G40s, which is a British car. Very similar in you know, overall performance though, and even though they definitely, you're not going to find these two cars racing against each other in the real world, you know, in most cases. Jettas, you know, at least especially the G40s, I don't think you're going to see those being raced too much out of the UK, and probably not many of these Pumas being driven out of Brazil, and actually not even that many would probably be driven in Brazil. But nonetheless, they pair very well, and very glad to have them to race against each other. What actually got me interested in the Puma P052 is that the Jetta G40 is a car I love, actually. I've come across it in several sims. You know, it's provided me with some great racing, and when I saw that it shared a class with this car, which was a very interesting, kind of cool looking car with the convertible top on it, reminding me a bit of like an MX-5 Mazda. But especially being that this was an H-pattern shifter, I wanted to give it a shot, and very glad that I did. It's a very, you know, this car is a lot of fun to drive. If you're someone who, you know, likes, again, an H-pattern shifter, got a car that you can slide around a track, absolutely this fits the bill. And Curvelo here is a very fun circuit. This is actually one that I had missed in my previous attempts to kind of get myself familiarized with some of the Brazilian content, you know, which is something that really I started doing in my personal life, so to speak, here with, you know, not anything for YouTube. I'd already been driving AMS2 for a few months and realized, man, there's all this content I just haven't touched, and kind of made it a personal mission of mine to rectify that situation, and that inspired me to start making these videos here, because I realized, I'm not alone in that by any means, and as I started making my way through the Brazilian content and having so much fun, I realized, man, this is all just fun I'd left on the table. Completely had been missing it. And, I want to help you guys not make that same mistake here, so if I can even get one person to try a track or a, car class or a vehicle that they previously had not considered, then, man, my mission here is a success. Oh, getting some oversteer there. Oh, I'm starting to lose the progress I made. This is a very tight, very twisty track, a lot of slow speed corners. And it's a very active track as far as driving goes. That's, very much a driver's track as far as somebody who likes the challenge of having to really manage their way around a racetrack. A lot of gear shifts around here. I'm having an absolute fantastic time with this combination. A lot of really, quick changes in direction here. Got some cambered corners, which is nice for being as tight as it is. That, helps out a little bit, helps keep you on the track. That little left-right is my absolute favorite combination of the whole circuit here. But this circuit's new enough to me that even I, haven't, either entirely figured out the gearing for this vehicle or have a tendency to kind of forget because, I haven't spent as much time going through it, and sometimes mistake one corner for another. It's all kind of a puzzle that you're figuring out. And, two people might not even drive it entirely differently. A lot of it's going to be dependent on setup and what kind of feels good to you. And that's one of the great things about sim racing is it can be so individualized. You can't always hop into the same setup that somebody else was fast in and be fast yourself. It might just, not match what works for you. And kind of figuring that out and honing those skills is a lot of fun. Let's see if I can make my way up to the Ginetta in front of me here. Oh, almost went off there. That was almost bad. This car is definitely a car that wants to throw its weight around and slide a bit. You gotta definitely keep it tamed, so to speak. Oh, this car wants by. Not gonna happen. I didn't mean to shove it off the track, though. Alright, he's still there. I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, even though I'm racing AI here, I try to race them fairly, treat them like they're real people. It's more fun for me that way, and it helps not develop bad habits that carry over into real racing when I do actually race online against people, which occasionally I get into. This is actually kind of an awkward right-left series there. And you have this right that ends up kind of bending back on itself, moving into a very tight but cambered left-hand turn, leading onto this front straight here. It's something you got to be prepared for and keep an eye out. It's one of those ones where you can't quite take the best line for the first turn, otherwise you're going to compromise yourself for the second. Trying to keep this Puma behind me. Just that, behind me. Ooh, he's making his desire known, though. He wants past. Oh, racing me hard. Got the aggression here on 100, as I always do. And this guy is definitely taking full advantage of that. Or girl, I don't know. Could be an AI girl, who knows? I suppose all AI are non-gendered. But I want to get this spot back. Might have to repay the favor a little bit. Come through with my elbows out. Let's see here. This will be the spot right here before this right-hander. Ah, not quite gonna get there. Oh, dive bombing a little bit. That's gonna be a repair bill to pay. Alright, so P15, 1 lap left. Hit up a couple spots on my start. Tells me I've got a very balanced AI setting. I think I'm running this at 100% AI, so it's one where I'm not flying through the field, which I appreciate. I don't think that's very much fun to have some guaranteed win. I like the challenge. I like knowing if I made up spots, it's because I, earned it a little bit. And I like to tell myself I'd be doing better if I wasn't talking through the whole time, and it's probably true, but also might just be something I tell myself to help me sleep a little bit better at night. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch this guy here. Oh, definitely not. Oh, last lap spin out. Pushing it too hard. Going for it all and got nothing. That's an age-old story in racing. Alright, I'm not last though. I can at least tell myself that. It's one of the great things about having a really big field is you can make some mistakes and at least beat a few people. But that's another thing I think is fun about sim racing, especially if you set up something like a, championship is just, as they say in golf, play it as it lies. If you make a mistake, just run with that. Keep that in, don't just restart the race. See how that affects your season. See what it's like to kind of make a little story for yourself out of it, It's a lot of fun getting to the end of a season and, maybe if you have a goal of something like a top 3, knowing that, man, you've got to, win the race or something to achieve that, or have a really good result because of things that happened earlier in the season, and that that is realistic. That is how it works, in most sports for that matter. It's fun to have that challenge. It's fun to not make it and realize I gotta try again for next season and see what I can do to improve. What do I need to change here? And you'll find in a lot of ways that you'll improve your skill by necessity trying to meet personal goals you set for yourself, and it's a lot more rewarding than just winning all the time. All right, so down 10 spots, but had a lot of fun.
Thanks for joining me here today. As always, I appreciate you riding along. And hey, if the car or track you saw today was new to you and looked like fun, and spoiler alert, they were, next time you get a chance to load up AMS 2, go ahead and give them a shot. I guarantee you're going to have a good time. And if you don't, come back and see me. I'll give you a full refund of the money you spent to watch this YouTube video. And if you did like what you saw here today, I would appreciate it if you give a little clickety-click to that thumbs up icon. Hit the subscribe button as well if you'd like to see more of my videos in the future. Either way, I do hope to see you here again sometime. Sim long and prosper. We'll catch you next time.